All right, welcome everybody. We are so glad that y'all are here today. Hopefully you are muted. We're going to record this so that we can send it out to people who weren't able to hop on live. But as you're getting on, welcome. Just to introduce myself, my name is Melissa Roswell, and I am one of the co-founders of the Women's Council of Entrepreneurs, which I know is a mouthful. I also have Allie Everhard on with me today. So we would love to know who you are. If you want to put your name and your business and where you're located in the chat, we would love to see who all is joining us today for our AI automation to improve your business webinar. We are super excited to have Mackenzie Ford here with us today. She is the founder of Cakery, which is a really interesting app for bakers where they get educational resources. But if you're not a baker, this is a great place to find bakers and cake makers and all sorts of home baking kind of things that you might need for parties and things like that. So I'll let her tell you a little bit more about how she came about with all of that when we get her on. But just to tell y'all a little bit about the Women's Council of Entrepreneurs, in case you are not familiar with us, we are a support and networking group for women entrepreneurs. And I always say support group because being an entrepreneur is hard. Do not kid yourself. This is a hard journey and you need people around you. You need other women who are going through it. And so that's really what we're here for. We're here to help you with education, with inspiration, with ways for you to network and meet other women, but also things like this where you can learn how to support and grow your business, all the resources that are out there that you may not know about. So definitely join our Facebook group if you have not. You can promote your business in there on Fridays. You can ask questions. There's women from all over the US. So if you are looking for someone else who maybe has a boutique or who does what you do and like, hey, how are you handling this? It's a great way to just ask other business owners what they're doing. So definitely check out the Facebook group, ask questions, promote your business, invite other women that you know who are business owners. And then also, if you're looking for small businesses to support or for like business-to-business services that you might need for your business, check out shopasmallbusiness.com. It's all of our members as well as other people can choose to be added in there. And it's a great place to start when you're looking for, virtual assistants, someone to help with your marketing. Maybe you want to send a birthday gift online and you want to support local women-owned businesses. This is a great place to start. And then, of course, I want to thank all of our corporate sponsors, and Mackenzie is one of those with Cakery, so we're glad to have her today. But all of these businesses support WCE, and we highly encourage you to check them out for all of the different needs that they offer that can help with your business. So it's a great way to support local women-owned businesses. All right, so hopefully everybody has dropped in the chat where they're at. We're also going to have questions at the end. So if you are kind of, as Mackenzie is going through this, if you aren't sure like what she's talking about or you want a little bit more clarification, definitely pop your question in the chat and we will hit those at the very end, just in case she answers your questions. And I cannot tell you how excited I am to have Mackenzie Ford here. She started Cakery, but she is actually a software engineer, software coder. I don't know what you call it.
Yes.
Those things I do not know. And so I think that's the best part is you are an expert in chat and all of this kind of stuff. And I cannot tell you, I love ChatGPT. I love all of those, I guess they have a name, all of the AI type of things. So finding ways to get them to work for us, I think this is key because there's not a huge cost. And so thank you. Thank you for being here, Mackenzie.
Yay, thank you for having me. Okay, I think you guys can see my screen, so I'll get started.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
awesome.
It's all
Thank
you.
you for the intro. So yes, I'm the founder of Cakery. I've got a quick about me page to kind of explain who I am and where I'm at in my AI journey. I'm Mackenzie Ford. I'm computer engineer by background, and I've spent about now 10 years in various roles related to programming, data analysis, data science, that type of nerd programmer stuff. And then recently, I kind of did a little bit of a switch to entrepreneurship. I went and got my MBA, highly recommend it. And I majored in entrepreneurship and finance. And then a little over a year ago, I went live with Cakery, which is my favorite thing ever because it combines two of my favorite things: coding, which I love, and baking, which I also love. That's another thing I do on the side. I'm cutting my Cakery cake in that picture there. That was at our launch party. And what it is I think Melissa said it best. It's a tool for bakers. They use me to build their websites, to generate invoices, to create their labels for their different cottage laws. They use me for a lot of educational things. And I love doing it because I am the type of person that I love the coding part. And the best thing you can do for your business is to do what you're good at. And that's what I'm good at. And so once I kind of discovered that and leaned into that and embraced that, that is what I'm doing. And I'm helping my bakers who aren't so tech savvy kind of do the tech part. So that's what Cakery is. I am what you would consider an optimist when it comes to AI because AI has helped my business tremendously. So I don't know what you guys' thoughts are coming into AI. You're like, oh my gosh, everybody's talking about it. Some people are doom and gloom. Some people are excited about it. I am team excited about it. I think it's a great thing. I think it's going to change all of our lives. It already has changed all of our lives for the better. And as we continue to lean into it, I think it's going to help us all scale our businesses enormously. My personal example with Cakery is I started out with 14 employees and I was just covering the state of Texas. I now only have 2 employees, not like I fired everybody. I had a bunch of college kids helping me when I started Cakery, and of course they've all graduated and grown up and kind of gone off to do their own thing. I've taken a lot of the work that they did and I've prompted it into my AIs, and my AIs are now doing the work for me. So I only now have 2 part-time employees, and Cakery is located in 40 states. So if that doesn't convince you that AI is helpful, then I will have more metrics that I can give you as I go along this presentation. And hopefully by the end of this, you'll be very excited about AI. I'll preface a little bit of bias that I have. I love Claude. So there's 3 main AIs: ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. I'm going to go through all those today. Claude is my personal favorite. And then just a quick fun fact. Baby David is why I do everything that I do. He's my nephew. He's the best, and he's so cute, so I had to put him on this slide. All right, so quick definition of terms. I'm kind of assuming that all of y'all have at least been exposed a little bit to some AI in this presentation. If you haven't, I'm sorry, because we're going to be moving fast. But what I say when I say GPT, I'm not talking about ChatGPT. I'm talking about a tool that is a generative pre-trained transformer. That's what a GPT is. So when I say GPT, I'm just referencing that as a tool, not as ChatGPT. So redefining the terms here because all the AI tools are GPTs. So hopefully that clarifies some confusion on that. I bolded 2 words on here that I want you guys to remember. A GPT has generative pre-trained. Y'all are all business owners on here. The thing that you wish for at night, I can only assume that we're all similar in this, is proactivity. Somebody that you've hired, somebody that you work with that just says, you know what, Mackenzie, I had this idea. I found this problem that you have, that you've told me that you have. I'm going to solve it for you. That's generative when it comes to automation. That's what we want our AI to do. We don't want to have to tell it to do stuff all the time. Please write this post for me. Please send this email for me. Please, 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 because we're continuing to prompt it. We want it to say, hey, Mackenzie, good morning. I did all this research for you last night. Here's what I found. That's what I'm going to teach you guys how to do. And then pre-trained. Pre-trained is equally as important because AI has all the knowledge of the world, but you know what it doesn't know? You and your business. It only knows literally everything else. So if you can train it to know you, to know what it is you're trying to do with your business, you will be successful. So I took a few AI classes when I was at Rice. Highly recommend taking some AI classes. I'd be happy to refer you to different resources that I've used, although it's very hard for me to do that because it changes literally every day. But don't be doomsday about that either. There's still just general AI knowledge that you can find. And one thing that I found that I absolutely loved to hear was the people that are the best at AI are not people like me. And you're going to be surprised by that because you're going to be like, Mackenzie, but you're such a nerd and you're a coder and you love this stuff. Yes, but the people who are doing the best at AI right now are actually people who are good at language. People who majored in linguistics and people who majored in English have been doing the best at AI. And that's because the number one skill for every business is communication. If you're able to communicate to the AI what it is that you want, you do not have to be a programmer like Mackenzie. You can be just a good business person, a good communicator. Communication is and will always be the number one skill in business. And if you can use it to communicate with your AI, you can successfully automate things. So there's what I mean by GPT, generative pre-trained. Okay, when it comes to the pre-trained, so I'm assuming you guys are already prompting your AIs a lot. If you're not, here's kind of, or even if you are, here's the 5 things that you need to use when you're prompting your AI. You need to make sure that you are treating them like a new employee. So like I said, AI has all the knowledge in the world. It can reference any website, any textbook, literally anything, but it does not know you. So you have to give it these things. And I would say if you can boil down whenever you're prompting AI into these 5 things and make sure you're giving it all of these things, you'll be much more set for success. You're training it on what your business is. You're giving it real life examples of maybe things that you've done before. You've given it the rules. Rules are so important because it will make up its own rules. Documentation is very helpful. And then feedback, telling it, hey, I don't like that you did this, or hey, please do this differently. Okay, and then I keep harping on this, but I made a whole slide on it because I think this is important. Automation versus prompting. Right now, a lot of us are using, Melissa and I were just talking about this before the meeting. She uses ChatGPT to help design things in her house. She's prompting it. She's saying, hey, what color should I use as a wallpaper? What table type should I use? That's not going away anytime soon. That is a helpful resource that AI is there for. But the next level of AI that I'm going to get us to today is having it do it for you as a generative thing, as a proactive thing. We've automated tasks with it. It's doing it while we're sleeping. How cool would it be to have somebody working while you're sleeping? That's what AI is going to open the door for us. So prompting is you're doing it once, the whole workflow opens and closes with you. Automation is you're still doing the prompting. Prompting's never going away, but you're setting up to continue to do it even while you go to sleep. Okay, so this is me convincing you guys that AI is going to be useful for your business with numbers. If you guys are numbers people, this is for you. What I've done is I've just taken, I think I'm being pretty conservative, a 1-hour day task and comparing how much time you would spend doing that if you did that task every day versus using AI to automate it. I want you to look at the January here. Assuming it takes you half a day to learn this, to prompt the GPT, to set up your brand template, to teach GPT what it is that your business does. And when I say GPT, remember, it's not necessarily ChatGPT, it's the GPT that you're using. Once you automate this 1-hour task, this is how much time you'll have been spent on this task versus using AI. And I was even conservative by saying you still have to spend maybe 5 to 10 minutes a day reviewing the tasks that AI is doing, because I'm not just saying it's going to do it for you and you'll never have to look at it again. That's not real yet. So if time doesn't convince you to use AI, let's look at cost. A lot of people ask me how much money I spend on AI. I don't know if y'all are meme people, but you know the meme that's like, shut up and take my money? That's what I feel about AI. I'm throwing about $300 to $500 a month at AI right now. I think that that's on the higher end. because I use it for coding, and coding is pretty expensive. Like you have to use, it's called tokens. It's kind of like you're playing an arcade game and you've got to give it a couple tokens. That's what happens every time I prompt AI with my coding stuff, is I have to use tokens every time. And a token is essentially equivalent to like a fraction of a cent. So I'm doing programming for my Cakery app, my Cakery website, my Cakery social media. I average about 4 agents that I'm running a day. So that means I've got like kind of 4 AI employees all throughout the day working and using tokens. That is only costing me $300 a month. I think it's totally worth it. But if you're the type of person that's like, that's not worth it, Mackenzie, I'm not there yet with my business, that's fine too, because ChatGPT is on the cheaper end. It's averaging like $20 a month for similar types of tasks, not doing the coding for you, but of course, giving you principles and kind of helping you along. It still is going to cost you way less than if you were doing manual labor at somebody valued at, let's say, $20 an hour. So hoping this helps. All right, and then the last thing before I'm going to show you guys a demo is I've gone ahead, and I will send this slide out, so no need to like try to memorize it or maybe grab a screenshot of it. This is Mackenzie Ford's opinion. You can prompt all the AIs and each one of it will tell you it's the best at these things. This is after me using it myself, what I think is better. Not just me, some of my peers and some of the AIs will actually also admit that they're not as good at this. But I should have put an asterisk on this slide, because this isn't really truth. This is Mackenzie Ford's opinion of what tasks that you're trying to do and which AI is the best for those tasks. And another big asterisk I'll put on this is they're all great. They are all a million times better than a person doing it by themselves. So if you choose one and you're like, I'm going to use ChatGPT for life, Mackenzie, I'm convinced, I would tell you to still try Claude anyway, but that's my bias. You can still use ChatGPT to do all these things. But in terms of the automation part, the next step of integrating with your tools, of it being proactive and doing it itself, Claude and actually Gemini are a little bit better at that. So for example, I'm just going to walk through a couple of examples. When it comes to emailing, I don't know if y'all do this every day, but I do this all the time, where I'll take an email thread and I'll feed it into ChatGPT and say, hey, here's the thing I'm thinking of responding. Can you make this sound better? And it will make me sound less horrible, less weird. And I actually will even give it kind of my brand voice on it and say, match this brand voice. And it will be Mackenzie even better than Mackenzie is at being Mackenzie, which is crazy. But that's if you prompt it right. That is still involving me, because I have to do that every time. If you're a business that has like a shared inbox where you're getting 100 emails a day of support requests, I would say use Gemini, because Gemini can automatically respond with kind of some support instructions. So if somebody emails you saying, hey, I'm a baker and I can't figure out how to request a cottage license in the state of Alaska. Well, Cakery has all these resources explaining exactly how to do it. I can prompt Gemini to say, go look at my Cakery Alaska page, tell them the answer, and then send them the answer, and I won't even press a button. So that's something you can do with emailing. And then what else should I talk through? Okay, the last one I'll point to specifically is the social media one. Social media is top of mind for me a lot, because we talk about things that we're good at and things we're not that good at. I hate social media. I hate marketing. I hate social media. I hate designing stuff. I'm really bad at it. So when I started to learn AI, that was the first thing that I wanted to automate, because whether you love it or don't love it, I think everybody can agree that it takes so much time. So I really, really wanted to figure out how to best automate this. I think I started 2 of these. I started ChatGPT and Claude. ChatGPT is the best, I think, for coming up with captions. And that is the demo that I'm going to show you next, is how to get ChatGPT to do that automatically for you. Claude is the best at integrating with Canva. I don't know if you guys use Canva a lot, but very recently, I think it was in the last like 6 months, Claude has released a Canva integrator where you can prompt Claude and Claude will generate Canva posts for you. I will also show you guys how to do that today. I think that's it for these. I can stop for any quick questions and then I'll move on to the demo, or should I just go ahead and do the demo?
I had a quick question.
Okay.
Can you make ChatGPT or any of the GPTs do the actual post, or they can only come up with the content?
I have yet to figure out how to make it do the actual post. And the reason for that is it's not ChatGPT's fault, it's Meta's fault. Meta does not want us to automate our own social media posting. I'm not sure why, but they have blocked it to where no robots that I can figure out. If anybody has figured it out, please interrupt me and take over this presentation because I've tried so many times. Meta does not want you to do that. It does not want you to automate posting. I actually tried to use it to automate commenting and liking. You can't do that either. A few companies have figured out some workarounds, but even those companies, it takes forever to set up and you can only post like 10 comments. You cannot do posts.
Okay.
There are some really... Sorry?
That's what takes so long, is actually scheduling.
Yeah. Yes, unfortunately, that's not there yet. But every day I check that because I'm ready for it.
Okay, keep us posted if you find that out.
I'll posted.
Okay, I think there's another question.
Yeah, I think someone has their hand up. Melissa Edwards.
Hi, I'm just getting into using AI for my business. I just started my business this year, so just soaking up all the things. So thank you so much for your time today. My question is, I've been using Copilot. Like I have my business's documents and all that are on Microsoft 365, and I know there's a relationship with Claude and Copilot. And do you know about that? And can you speak to that a little bit so I can not be so ignorant?
Not much of a relationship in the sense, I don't know much about the relationship between the two, other than I would say Microsoft has adopted Claude the best, and you can use Claude best to integrate with your Microsoft tools. So that makes sense that you say that because I use Claude for integrating with Microsoft 365, specifically Excel. So that makes perfect sense to me that there's some sort of relationship there. I did not know that though.
Okay. Yeah, it's just when I go into the Copilot chat, there's like some options in there where you can choose like to use Claude. And so I was just I probably need to like ask, right? Just ask the agent to get a better understanding. So would you say, because I know your preference is Claude, so do you think that I would need Claude on top of Copilot?
Not necessarily, but I think Claude I think if you're just having it like talk to you, I think Copilot does just as much and is like a million times cheaper. If you want Claude to integrate like where it writes invoices for you, or it builds you a financial model in Excel, or like the actual doing the work, I would say yes, integrate it with Claude.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And that is still, I would say that'll still be less than $100 a month just to do that. The reason mine costs so much is because I'm running 4 agents doing a lot of code stuff. Claude with Excel is much more reasonable. Like okay. I'm saying less than 100, but really I think it's maybe less than 50.
Wow. Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. Are y'all ready to build a quick GPT? Going to present something else, which is this. Okay, so I've already done the work because remember, doing the work beforehand is the most important thing. Once you actually feed the GPT, it will exponentially do the work for you and take off from there. But you have to prompt it right. So creating a GPT for Cakery, what I've done is I've followed kind of my 5 principles: the training, the feedback, the documentation. I can't remember the other 2, the rules, all that. Okay, so this is my Cakery caption writer GPT. I'm going to tell ChatGPT, I'm using ChatGPT for y'all. I'm going to tell ChatGPT to make a caption generator, and I have a few highlighted things in here. My brand voice is kind of how I want Cakery to sound. I want to sound friendly, educational, not too professional. My writing style, I hate the long dashes. In fact, right now, that is how you quickly get exposed for using AI, is using these long dashes. So I tell it to never use them and to write like a normal person instead. This is my caption structure. I don't like it to have a lot of fluff words. I think ChatGPT is pretty bad about just adding random words or random motivational things that are just way too generic for me. It also, for some reason, has a hard time with captions. So I put in my prompt, use these specific captions. Whenever it comes up with its own captions, I typically don't like them. And then whenever it's promoting or being educational, sometimes it's a little too pro Cakery. It's like, Cakery is just the greatest thing on earth. I mean, of course I think that, but I don't think that I should put that in my captions. And then keyword here, proactively. I want you to once a week give me ideas for what to put on my social media because I'm not a creative person. Okay, so I'm going to copy all this and paste it, and I will send this to y'all too if y'all want to use it as kind of a basis. And then I'm going to share a different screen really quick, which is going to be ChatGPT. Okay, so this is the paid version of ChatGPT. I think you'll only see this if you're paying for ChatGPT. I'm going to go to more, and I'm going to go to GPTs. And I'm going to hit create. In here is where I'm going to prompt it with the prompt that I just came up with and hit go. So now it's going to ask me some follow-up questions. Yes, go, go, go. And then because I'm running out of time, I'm just going to stop here. But what this is going to do is it's going to create its own tab in my ChatGPT that I can always come back to. So remember how whenever you're in ChatGPT, you can kind of see previous stuff that you've talked to it about. It will have a GPT specific to what you just prompted it, and then it will do those automated tasks once every week or once every 5 minutes or however often you want it to do that. And that's it. Yay.
How do you know when it, like if you were to say, give me an idea every morning, how would it tell you that?
It will either email you or give you a notification within your ChatGPT app if you're signed in on your phone.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Okay, we're open for questions if anybody has someone. Sorry to like jump in. I'm like, how are they going to tap me on the shoulder? Like, how are they going to tell me what is going on?
I always leave my thing open because I like seeing it right then and there. But yes, if you're not signed in, you can make sure to turn on your notifications on your phone and it will let you know when it's done. Oh, can you show us the results or an example of results? Let me just share my whole window because I'm sorry to get to it. I wanted to show you guys my Claude Code window. This is me talking to Claude about generating the Canva link that I was telling you guys about earlier, where it generates like a Canva post. I've already put into my Canva, hey, I'm trying to reach Alaska for Cakery. Make me a post for 5 things to know when cottage baking in Alaska. And then it went ahead and used one of my sample designs that I've given it, and it asked me a few follow-up questions. So first it was like, this template, what are you talking about? And I was like, oh, here's the template. And then it said, okay, blah, 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 here's the link, and here's the design. I feel like it asked me. Yeah, normally it asks more follow-up questions. But anyway, so this is, oh, here we go. Yes. It kind of came up with a proposed page order and what it wanted for the page. So here's the cover, here's the no permit needed, blah, blah, blah. Here's the tips. And then I kind of gave it feedback saying, yes, I like that, or no, I don't like that. And then it came up with the Canva. So now let me show you guys the Canva. Sorry, I'm bouncing around. All right, this is what Claude generated for me. So this has not been touched by a human at all. This is entirely touched by Claude. I told it to make an Instagram post for my Alaska bakers that gives them just 5 generic things to know when starting their bakery in Alaska. What I had given it, this is very important because it didn't just make this up by magic. I had given it some of these photos so it knew to use these. I had told it that my brand template is this chocolatey background with the pink foreground, so it knew that going in. and it knew what kind of font to use, and it had seen some example posts that I had fed it. So it's saying no permit needed, solve direct in person. So it kind of generated these random little like symbol things, which I'm kind of meh about, but like I purposely didn't change this because I wanted y'all to see what it gave me as is. So, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I don't know how quickly y'all could come up with this kind of stuff, but this takes me forever. So it was so nice to have it do it for me. Any other questions?
Jan, did you have a question?
So many questions, friend. So many questions. Okay, so just to review. So you created the big prompt with your branding and all that stuff in Chat GPT, right? And then you took that and dumped it in Claude. Claude then asked you questions, and then you took that, and you have Claude connected to Canva.
Yes, because Claude
And
can't
then-
connect to Canva, ChatGPT can't
Yes,
yet.
right. And then it made those things.
Yes, exactly.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Brilliant.
you.
Okay. Now, I'm a digital marketer, so I have contractors that work for me do social media. They could do this for all the clients, right?
I would say yes. Everybody that, I mean, I have a lot of friends like from business school that have me just come spend 30 minutes teaching those people how to do that. And then they're usually pretty open to doing it themselves. You have to have a paid Claude account, you have to have a paid Canva account, and you have to
Right.
log in on both to integrate them.
Perfect. Awesome. Brilliant. Thank you.
I'm going to rapid fire the chat questions really quick. I never use Grok. I've only seen people use it for fact checking, and apparently it's good at that for social media stuff. So that's all I can say on Grok. And then for how to connect to Canva, will it ask? Yes. So you have to use Claude Code, open it in your terminal. I know I'm using a lot of words you guys probably don't know. Terminal is a window, or command prompt, if you're on a PC, is a window that you use to prompt it. I can see whenever I send y'all my follow-up email, I'll see if I can find a short video, or I'll just kind of write it out to explain how to open that, because I think opening it is kind of the hardest, most confusingest thing. But once you do that, then you can sign into Claude through that, and then it will prompt you everything else. You'll say, hey, I'm ready to connect to Canva, and it'll be like, great, let's log into Canva, and it'll pull up a window. You'll log into Canva on that. It's a one-time setup, and it will remember your credentials forever. So then you can just say, build this for me on Canva. And then for phone or computer, unfortunately, most of the stuff happens on my computer. I would love to be laying in my bed and prompt Claude and say, do this for me. But for some reason, it does not work well on my phone. Especially anything related to Claude Code in that terminal window, you can't do a terminal on the phone. You unfortunately have to be on your computer. Will you only be able to use that prompt page for the training prompt to work? No, so you can prompt on any page. In fact, when it comes to, okay, I probably should have said this. When you're building your GPT, the reason I like building my own GPT for stuff like caption generation is because ChatGPT kind of writes over itself when it comes to memory, and it forgets really important things that you told it. Like for some reason, ChatGPT continues to forget that like I am a resource to bakers, and it will continue to like try to market me to other people besides bakers. But when you make a GPT, its knowledge is contained to what you've told it in the GPT. Of course, it still looks in the World Wide Web for stuff, but it is better at remembering the core principles that you taught it. And also, when it comes to teaching it those core principles, there is an amount that you can overdo it, but the overdoing it is like 400 pages of text. So as long as you're staying under the 400 pages of text and giving it those core principles, it will stick to those better than you can. The paid Claude starts at $20 a month. I'm currently using it between $300 and $500 a month for all the tokens that I'm currently using when it comes to all the coding that I'm doing. Yes, okay, I actually use ChatGPT too for talking through the microphone. I use it to practice languages, and it works. You can say, hey, talk to me in Spanish, and I speak Chinese, so I practice my Chinese with ChatGPT, and it will speak it back to me. It's incredible. Highly recommend using the microphone. I'm located in Houston if anybody wants to do a work day with me. I also trade resources. So I've actually met with marketing people and lawyers, and I've lended them my AI expertise, and then they've lended me their marketing and their law expertise. So if you guys want to trade help, please loan me your brains on those types of things.
I have one question. Just when you were showing, like, and you had mentioned that Gemini can like read the emails and like help. Do you use the different like the different GPTs for different things? Like, you love Claude, but do you use Gemini for the email? Like, do you suggest doing that using the
I had to do it for I'm still too controlling. I know I should let it go. And I had to do it. So at Rice, I said, I know it's possible because at Rice, we had to set it up for like a school project. So you can set it up to automate your emails for you. And I've emailed businesses that automatically replied to me with AI, and I wasn't mad about it. So like, I don't think as a customer, people are going to not like it, but for just some reason, I like to respond to all my emails personally. Cakery is not big enough yet to where I can't do that anymore. So no, I do not personally do it, but I'm happy to show y'all how to do it.
Okay. Maybe in certain situations, like.
Right. So I didn't even tell Gemini to do this. I don't know if y'all use Gemini. Gemini's gotten really good at, as I'm typing a response, I'm just so repetitive with all my tasks. Like, my bakers ask me the same questions over and over and over again. I'm sure you guys all can relate to this. So Gemini at this point is just like, oh yeah, easy. Go to cakerybakeries.com/label maker. Of course, duh. And so it like tells me that, and I just hit tab and enter, and it automatically. So like, it kind of is, that's what I'm using it for right now.
So that's Gemini on
That's
Gmail? Okay.
Gemini is the one that integrates with Gmail. So Claude is made by a company called Anthropic. Gemini is the Google one. I think ChatGPT was the Elon. I think Elon started it, but I don't think he's currently doing it. And then I don't remember what the other ones are. I think Facebook has them, but I don't remember what it's called. It's not good yet. The best ones are the three I just talked to y'all about. Copilot's okay. I feel bad that I'm not giving Copilot any credit. Copilot's all right. I mean, it's Microsoft, and especially if they're integrating with Claude, maybe Copilot's about to take off, but I'm just not a Copilot gal.
Do we have any other questions? I know it's like, we probably could sit here all day talking about all the stuff.
I did see a hand raised. It looks like it's gone now, so maybe it timed out. So if you were raising your hand, feel free to just unmute.
No.
Can I just make a comment about what you said about Copilot? You know, and like I said, I'm pretty new to all of this as well. But I have found Copilot is helpful for me because my business is on Microsoft 365. So when I'm prompting it, it's scanning like all of my Word documents and my Excel sheets and my Outlook emails and all of that. So if you are on that, Copilot is kind of beneficial because it's, you know, giving you a more holistic answer.
I'm glad you said that, and I totally agree. So yesterday I had a microwave repair guy come over, and I used all the AIs to compare the quote he gave me and all of that. Microsoft Copilot was the most honest and the best at coming up with comparative prices, which I found kind of shocking. So I think ChatGPT, I don't know this is of course still my opinion. I think ChatGPT is always rushing to give you an answer, so it's the most often wrong. I think Microsoft has realized that, and so they're trying to stand out by being right. So it takes a little bit longer, but it's much more right. And also Microsoft can integrate with the Bings and the Googles to actually search things. So I think it's a better search engine right now. I will say, though, that all the AIs are competing with Google right now when it comes to search engines. And I highly recommend all of y'all get your websites to be searchable by AI. There's a way that you can test that. Highly recommend testing that, and highly recommend fixing that to where you can be found by all the AI tools, because people aren't using Google to search you anymore.
Can you tell us how to do it?
Yes. Okay. Depending on what you're using to host your website, Wix, GoDaddy, if you're developing it yourself, if you've got a person that's helping you do it, there is a file that you need to have in your website called hello.robot. No, not hello.robot. Robot.txt, I think is what it's called. I'll put that in my follow-up email because I don't want to tell y'all wrong. That file is basically a instruction for your AI agents, not your AI agents, other people's AI agents. When they stumble upon your website, they'll read through that file, and that file will tell the robot what your website does and where to click on your website. It's very important to have that, because if you don't, then it will kind of like not skip over your website, but it'll be like, oh, this website doesn't really have what I need because it's not being clear to me what it is exactly that I need. So you won't score as highly when it comes to those robots scraping the web and looking for your website, unless you don't want to be found. I've had some businesses that are doing the opposite on purpose because they don't want to be found and they don't want the AI scraping their website, but it's inevitable. I'm kind of like if you're going to do it right and do it the way that the robots want to see it kind of person, but that's my opinion. There's a free, I'm going to make a note to send this to y'all too, but there's a free tester tool that you can use to see what your score is on that. Cakery originally scored a 30%, if that helps y'all see how far we've had to come. Now I'm at 100%, but it took a while to get there. I had to make the robot.txt file be all nice and much better.
So like, what do you put in is there like a template, or are you just putting
There's a
stuff
template
about your business? Okay.
Yes. And you can use AI to write it. Which is kind of ironic.
Okay. Do you offer consulting services?
I do, yes. And if that's something you guys are interested in, I will send y'all all my, actually I did have, oh, well, let me just share my contact info slide, but I'm also going to share these slides. So yes, my sister and I'm one of 3 girls. We all are very gung-ho about our AI stuff, and we've helped a lot of mostly friends of friends businesses. But if you guys want help, happy to at least demo to you guys how to use AI, train your employees on how to use AI, or we've done like where I come in and I set up some of these agents and then I leave and then you guys just use the agents. So those all are things that I've done.
Okay, well, everybody is writing down the information. Just a reminder that we're going to be sending out the recording with the information, and then Mackenzie is also going to be sending you follow-up information with all the other amazing info, like as if we didn't get enough in this 45 minutes, like, and literally we could go all day. I love it. So thank you so much, Mackenzie, for everything. And make sure to get in contact with her, follow her on Instagram, tell all your baker friends how she will automate their lives and make everything easier and grow their bakery, because automation is amazing. It really is. And it takes a lot of stress off of us entrepreneurs because everything falls on us and we really don't have all the hours in the day. And it could save you from, making it past that first 10 years, because the outlook in the first 10 years isn't great for new businesses. So get that automation done. Tell your baker friends, call Mackenzie so that she can help you with your business. And we have another webinar here at WC. Where is it? The next one is July 24th. It's how food can transform your focus, mood, and energy. And that's with Janae Tidwell. So it's a little bit different than what we normally do, but we really think it's important. So just some nutritional tips on how to get yourself in a steady mood so you can be productive. Okay, well, thank you again, Mackenzie. Thank you, everybody who joined us. If you have any questions, make sure to get a hold of Mackenzie. If you have questions about WCE, get a hold of us, and we will see you next time.
Thank
Bye.
you.